I was going to dunk on him, so I had to get him. After that, the game was over.
Pressey will apply pressure.
Look at him holding off.
Oh, good play by Pressey.
I love the defense Pressey's playing. Watch the steal at half court here. Knocked away from the weak side, and off he goes, and he deserves this one.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrive Time Show, starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. C's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
And now, from the center of the universe,
Here's the welcome to Thrive Time with Dr. Z and Clay Clark too. They can tell you all of the rules. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio and podcast download. My name is Clay Clark. I am the former United States Small Business Administration Entrepreneur of the Year. And both my partner and I, Dr. Zellner, we are big fans of professional sports, professional athletes, anybody who's performing at a high level, and anybody who's had to grind to get where they are. We're big fans of work ethics. And so today, we're interviewing the man, the myth, the legend, Phil Pressey, a man who's played in the NBA for the Boston Celtics for a few years. Phil, what other teams have you been a part of? The Philadelphia 76ers, the Warriors? Who else have you been on?
I had a half a year with the Philadelphia 76ers, half a year with the Phoenix Suns, a little bit with the Golden State Warriors, and I just currently finished in Barcelona, Spain. So I've been a little bit everywhere.
Now, you came to the planet on February 17th, 1991, which makes you 27. Phil, do you remember that moment?
Or were you too young to remember?
Are you coming to the earth? I don't quite remember that.
Okay.
But, I got pictures from it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Well, now I'm going to hop into the real questions here. So, your dad played in the NBA for 11 seasons, and he coached for 24, which means he's one of the only people who was in the NBA for 35 years. So you grew up in a home where, your dad was on the Bucks, the Spurs, the Warriors, the Magic, the Celtics, the Hornets, playing with David Robinson. Just big-name folks. And he was coaching Chris Paul. What was that like growing up in an NBA household, my man?
Growing up, I really didn't notice how big of a deal it was. I kind of just got used to it. But as I got older, I understood, the importance that had on the effect it had on my life. Me just following in my dad's footsteps. He played, like you said. He's been in the NBA for a long time. So me just being around him, he showed me the way, and it's helped me, get through my short but, hopefully longer professional career.
How tall are you at last count? Do you ever think to yourself, how tall? I mean, how tall are you? How tall were you this morning?
This morning, I say I'm 5'11", but I play like I'm 7 feet.
Nice. Okay. Well, because I'm like an NBA basketball card, I'll say you're 6'2". But Phil, you're 5'11".
Okay.
You're 5'11".
Yeah.
But at the age of when you're in high school, I mean, you were all-state selection and for basketball in the state of Texas. You led your team to the Southwest Preparatory Conference State Championship in basketball 2009 and 10. What did it feel like to dominate the game of basketball at a height? I mean, high school, were you 5'9" as a senior? Were you 5'10"? When did you stop growing?
Yeah, I stopped growing when I went to college, but it was a great experience that I had in high school. Being a smaller guy, in basketball, you have to play with a chip on your shoulder.
Right.
So my whole life, I've been the smallest player on the court, and people always tell me that I can't do something or you're too small. I've always had that, that chip on my shoulder that's got me to the next level. So I've used that as, it's something to ignite the fire to pretty much keep me going.
Now, I'm going to cue up a video here of you, which obviously it's a radio podcast, so it'll be hard for you to see, but for any of the listeners who go to thrivetimeshow.com and they click on the show notes for today's podcast, they can see it. But this is you when you were 5'8", 5'8" inches tall, and you dunk on a guy who's 6'8", and I'm going to play it for you. Do you remember this dunk when you were wearing number 14? Do you remember this dunk, this YouTube legendary dunk?
Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday.
Okay, dude, was it a bouncy floor? Were you on steroids? What happened?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both,
Did you have those little mini tramp set up?
My mom's fried chicken I had. Fried chicken,
that'll do it.
I think that was it.
Okay, I'm going to cue it up. I'm queuing up the video right now. I'm going to play it for the guys inside the studio.
Okay,
here we go. Here he comes down. He's got the ball. It's the top. Oh, bam!
Oh, sick!
Oh, look! Oh, you stare him down. Oh, look at you! Look at the attitude.
Different angle. Here we go. Oh!
How is that possible?
It looked like someone about halfway up just picked you back up again.
Look at it
How's
again.
that
Here he goes.
possible?
Here he goes.
I think it's
just sick.
Second hand for show right there.
Seriously, Phil. Did they have like cords attached to you and a guy back there with the pulley system picking you up? I mean, there had to be something. Like Circus Soleil.
I hear that all the time.
That was awesome.
That was crazy. About halfway up on that dunk, it looked like you kind of paused and went back up again.
I've got
like
to
you hit the
compose
booster.
myself.
That's what I look like whenever I jump, too.
Yeah, like had rockets in his shoes.
I was getting a little bit nervous on the show because, there's hundreds of thousands of people that download this thing. So it's kind of like broadcasting from the Michigan Stadium, from maybe like the Alamo Dome where the Spurs play. I mean, it's kind of a little bit intimidating. Then you get a guy with Phil's skill on the show, and then you watch a dunk like that. It's too awesome.
You've got to go
right now.
You've got to go thrivetimeshow.com and click on the show notes to see that.
It is sick.
Okay, what's your favorite? The best part may be when he just stands there and he just stares the guy down.
at
like
the end.
That just happened.
Warrior.
No, so the story of that play, the guy I dunked on, his name is Tony Mitchell. He's my good friend. We were in a hotel the night before it was an all-star game with like all the best players in Texas. And we're in a hotel the night before, and everybody's talking like, I'm not gonna get dunked on, or I hope I don't get dunked on, and everybody's saying I'm not gonna get dunked on, and the next day he was the first person that got dunked on. So everybody didn't want to get dunked on, and I was like, I'm gonna dunk on somebody, and it just happened to be
nice. Now here's the deal. So you went on to play basketball in Missouri, and you played with your brother. What was the experience like playing Division I basketball with your older brother Matt on Missouri for 2 years? I mean, because you guys went. Did you guys not go undefeated on Missouri?
We lost a couple games, but it was supposed to be undefeated. But it was a great experience. having my brother there in college, I had some ups and downs in college, and having him there, family,
Right.
he kind of helped me get through, the tough times of being a freshman in college. And then also my parents, they had an opportunity to watch, both of their sons play at high Division I basketball. And I feel like that was the best decision for me. And I think it was the best decision I made was going there and attending the University of Missouri with my brother.
Now, was there a close number 2? Was there like your dad's alma mater? I mean, was there a close number 2? There had to be. What was your number 2 choice?
I had my top 5. So I had University of Missouri, UConn, UCLA, Arizona, and Baylor.
Can I say this on behalf of the listeners?
It was my first.
Nobody out there has ever heard of those. I'm just saying this on behalf of the listeners. Nobody's ever heard of those schools. I mean, we don't know.
We're going. Are those even schools? Is this Division I? Are those Division I?
UConn? Why are there so many crickets? I don't understand.
I don't know what's going on.
Schools?
None of those schools are in Oklahoma. This just kind of breaks my heart.
Who is this guy?
You skipped over the entire state. You're from Texas. You skip over the entire state, and you end up in the Show Me State, Missouri. That's just.
Well, Rogers State was up and coming.
We didn't even make 5. We didn't even make top 5.
Now, Phil, here's the deal. So you play at Missouri at a very high level with your brother, and on April 10th, 2013, if you remember that date, the date that will forever live in
infamy,
or maybe you like this date, I don't know, but you decided to forego your senior year of college to declare your eligibility to the NBA draft. Do you remember doing that?
You say that again?
Do you remember declaring your eligibility for the NBA draft? Do you remember when you decided to do that? Maybe where you were or what made you want to do that?
Oh yeah. I can't. I think it was after our last game. Our last game in the tournament of my junior year. I was in a hotel. I was talking to my dad after the game, and we had just lost to Colorado State. And I was speaking to my dad. He was asking me what did I want to do, and I was like, I want to, pursue my senior year and, try out, or not try out, but go professional. And he was like, he encouraged everything that my decision, and that's a dream. That's a dream ever since I can remember. And I just, I thought about it. And that's something that, I've been dreaming since I was a little kid, and that's all I could think about, is achieving that goal and all the hard work that I put in, and that was the decision that I made.
I have a rude question for Phil, and you
I've
can
got
ask
one
the night question.
teed up. I'll do nice.
You can, Phil. I'm going to be the rude guy.
You're a bad cop.
I'm the bad cop.
Okay,
I'm the bad cop. I happen to be a friend of Phil's. I love Phil, but I have to ask one rude question. Because when David Stern gets up there and he announces, and now with the first pick, the such and such select
so and so,
and the third pick, and the 8th pick, and you start going through the picks, and you realize, I did not get drafted. What were you feeling when you didn't get drafted? What did that take us to that place? What did that feel like?
That was I cried that night. It was a night that, it kind of, it broke my heart because that's like a dream that I've been wanting my whole life. But like I said earlier, while we were talking, it kind of ignited the fire that kind of, like I said, I've been playing with a chip on my shoulder my whole life. So whenever somebody tells me I can't do something or it doesn't work out how I want it, I kind of use that as a stepping stone to get to where I want to get, So I didn't, I took 30 or an hour or whatever it was to kind of reflect on myself. But right after that, I got right back into the gym and started pushing, to make it to the NBA.
Okay, so you allowed yourself about an hour to kind of get over that. And
exactly.
But then you thought, okay, I'm going to have to take some action here. And that's why I love having you on the show, because every entrepreneur can relate to that. If you're an entrepreneur and you have a business, you probably, if you're a startup or you're doing less than $1 million a year of revenue, you're probably getting rejected at least once an hour right now. I mean, and when you get rejected, I mean, that's not the NBA. By the way, there's not that many professional basketball leagues in America, Phil. I don't know if you're aware of that. This just in. Thrive Nation, this just in. There's only, how many jobs are there in the NBA? Every team carries, like the Thunder right now. You're at Summer League for the Thunder. How many roster spots are there available?
So I believe there's 15 or 16 on the Oklahoma Thunder that's available.
Okay.
And, you know, every single year guys are coming in, guys are going out. So it's kind of, you know, every year you pretty much have to prove yourself.
Now,
and I feel like that's in every, you know, job profession. You know, you really can't just say, okay, I made it this year, I can take a break. And, you know, it's kind of like a pursuit. You know, it's a journey. You know, you fall in love with the journey. So.
All right, Thrive Nation, when we return, more with our exclusive interview with Phil Pressey from the Oklahoma City Thunder and the former player for the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers, a professional basketball player for many years in the NBA, and a man trying to earn a roster spot on the Oklahoma City Thunder. But before we go to the break, I want to tell you about a great show sponsor, somebody who makes this show possible. Somebody who also started from the bottom and worked their way to the top. That's Paul Hood with Hood CPAs. The guy grew up with nothing and turned his life into something. And if you're out there looking for an accountant who understands entrepreneurship and understands the grind it takes to become successful, check out hoodcpas.com. Schedule an appointment today with hoodcpas.com.
Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm a dive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here.
Thrive Nation, it's all about expectations. What are your expectations that you have for yourself? What are the expectations that your parents had for you? Are your expectations potentially higher for yourself than the expectations your parents had for you? Were you told as a kid that maybe you're too small, you're not smart enough, you don't have what it takes, you don't have the money needed to start that business? Have you ever been told that before? Well, if you have, you're going to love today's interview. We're interviewing Phil Pressey, a guy who made it to the NBA and played for the Boston Celtics for multiple years, and then for the Philadelphia 76ers, and then professionally in Barcelona, and who's now been asked to try out for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder, and he's currently, right now, at this very moment, he is in the NBA Summer League, where he is attempting to earn a roster spot. And so we reached out to my good friend, Phil Pressey, to ask him what it's like trying to make an NBA team when everyone says you're too short, you're too small, you don't have what it takes. And if you've ever started a company, you can relate to this because it's you against the world. Not many people get that. But if you're no stranger to 5 a.m., you're going to love this interview today with the NBA player and my good friend, Phil Pressey, trying out for the Oklahoma City Thunder NBA professional basketball team.
Well, speaking of the journey, I'm sure as a young boy, you probably played one-on-one with your dad, a professional NBA basketball player, all the time, right?
Yeah, he used to cheat all the time.
Oh,
too.
man, that just breaks. Oh, my God. I'm gonna text him tonight. I'm gonna call him tonight and tell him. I'm going to give him a piece of my mind about that. But what age were you when you beat him for the first time? You got to remember that.
Nah, because we used to always, me and my brother, we used to play him 2 against 1.
Oh, my.
And he used to cheat all the time. You know, to his credit, it was 2 against 1. But he would never really play us, one-on-one. By the time I got good enough to probably beat him.
He checked out. Yeah,
moving around.
He's a smart man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He's a smart man.
So when you didn't get drafted, how do you go out there and get a job on the Celtics? What is that process? I mean, because I'm thinking to myself, I know the Thrivers are thinking. We're thinking, Z, if I wanted to play for the Celtics, I'm 37. I
look good in green.
I could declare my eligibility. Z, I could do. There's a lot of thrivers out there. We believe we can conceive it, we can achieve it. Chup. Chup. How old are you, Eric? How old are you right now?
33.
Yeah. See, you could declare your eligibility. Z could declare his eligibility.
I did yesterday.
I could do it. But how did you get on the Celtics? What was that process like?
It just took a lot of focus. You got to eliminate the distractions. We live in a world, like where there's a lot of like self-doubt. Like whatever you're doing, people are doubting you, and if you hear something enough, you're gonna start to believe it. So I kind of eliminated all that and really focused in, and sacrificed a lot. A lot of my free time, going out hanging with friends, and then really focused in on what I really wanted. And that's the way I did it. And, as of right now, I'm still doing it. So it's an ongoing process.
Did your agent get you a tryout with the Celtics, or did you just show up one day and say, Brad Stevens, I'm Phil Pressey, here to get this job? How did you go? What was the literal steps you went? I think a lot of people are curious about the ins and outs of how professional sports works. How did you get a tryout or a look?
So when guys, come out of college, you start working out for teams, Every college player, that turns professional when they leave college, before the NBA draft, you work out for the teams that are interested in you.
Got it.
And Boston was a team that was interested in me. I worked out with them twice before the draft. They didn't draft me, but literally right after the draft, they called me and said, we want to sign you. So, that was kind of like a blessing, even though I was, crying, for an hour. Literally, like right after that, I got a call from Boston that said, we want you to come in. We're going to sign you. And the rest from there, all good things happen.
Now, I'm a huge fan of coaches, and I would say this right now in basketball. I have huge respect for Popovich, who I know that your father knows from having coached with the Spurs organization. Then you have Brad Stevens, who I'm a huge fan of. Those are my two favorites right now, is Popovich and Stevens, because Stevens took Butler, which for all the listeners out there who are in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Butler University is the size of Oral Roberts University. And by the way, they're competing with Indiana for top talent. That would be like Oral Roberts University all of a sudden going to the Final Four multiple years in a row. It's crazy. So Brad Stevens is a great coach. And he was your coach. What was it like to be coached by Brad? And by the way, I'm not saying this in a negative way, but Brad looks younger than you.
Yeah, he's a high class guy.
Okay.
He just I feel like he's a good person. So whether it was basketball or football or soccer or tennis, or if he was a dentist, I feel like you can have a conversation with him regardless. And he's a stand-up act, and he's just a good character guy. You really don't. So the players going into the games and whatever he says, you listen to, and you respect him. And I feel like him being that way has kind of just led him to to who he is. And all the best to him. He's helped me. He's changed the way I think and the way I play basketball. He's helped me out.
Now, when you get inside an NBA locker room, Z, a lot of us, Z, have you been in an NBA locker room this week? Have you been in a locker room for the NBA here the last week or two?
Let me think. This week?
I know we both got kicked out one time for streaking, but beyond that time, have you been in again?
This week. I'm going back to the week.
Okay.
No,
Chubb, have you been in an NBA locker room?
No, not recently.
Or an NBA huddle. So walk us in the NBA huddle. A coach Stevens, he's coaching in Boston, so I'm sure he sounds like a stereotypical Bostonian. He's probably already assimilated the accent. Is he in the huddle going, guys, here's the deal. We're going to freaking go in there, pass the ball to Olenek, and crush them. Absolutely dominate. Or what kind of things does he say in the locker room? You're a bunch of pro guys. He's like, guys, we got to score more points than the other guys. Overall, what?
Phil, you got your brass knuckles.
Phil, you got your brass knuckles. You got the. What are they? Are they doing a lot of rah-rahs, a lot of motivational?
Yeah.
What's going on?
See, that's the thing about Coach Stevens. He's never been, he's never got too high. He's never got too low. Like he controls his emotions, so he doesn't let it get the best of him. That's the thing about basketball. A lot of it is physical, being able to shoot, being able to pass, being able to jump. But, most of the game is mental. And from a head coach standpoint, you're the leader of the team. And if you don't have your emotions right and have everything in check, then, your team's going to follow behind you.
Stay tuned for more of our exclusive interview with the NBA's Phil Pressey. But before we do that, I want to tell all of our listeners about a great guy and the chiropractor of choice for a professional athlete. In fact, the best NHL player of all time, Wayne Gretzky. If you're out there looking for a chiropractor and you live in the Tulsa area, check out the chiropractor of choice for Wayne Gretzky. That's drjohnsibley.com. drjohnsibley.com. And tell him the not-so-great one sent you.
Attend the world's best business workshop led by America's #1 business coach for free by subscribing on iTunes and leaving us an objective review. Claim your tickets by emailing us proof that you did it and your contact information to info@thrivetimeshow.com.
Welcome back. And for those of you just tuning in for the first time, my name is Clay Clark. I am the former United States Small Business Administration Entrepreneur of the Year and the father of 5 human kids. Between my partner, Dr. Robert Zellner, and I, we've built 14 multi-million-dollar companies, and that number tends to grow every year. And so if you're looking to if you want to look up the companies to verify we're real, look up Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates. Look up epicphotos.com. Look up djconnection.com. Look up eitrlounge.com. Just look up the businesses, go to thrivetimeshow.com, and you can verify that we are real people. And we teach success, but we also like to interview successful people so that you can feed your mind positive information on a daily basis. And so on today's show, we're interviewing a man by the name of Phil Pressey. Phil Pressey, Pressey, Phil Pressey. At 5'10", he has made it into the NBA. He has played multiple seasons with the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. And he's also played in the Barcelona League, which is one step under the NBA. And he was called by the Oklahoma City Thunder to try out for the Oklahoma City National Basketball Association professional basketball team. And he's out there in the Summer League right now in Las Vegas as we speak. And since he's a good friend of mine, I wanted to call him up and ask him, what's it like trying out for an NBA team? What's that grind like? And we're talking right now about why it's so important if you're the head coach of your organization, the head coach of your team, or the leader of your company, why you absolutely must prepare and lead the way. And so without any further ado, our exclusive interview with Phil Pressey of the NBA fame, currently trying out for the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Las Vegas NBA Summer League. Stay tuned. Stevens took Butler, which for all of the listeners out there who are in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Butler University is the size of Oral Roberts University. And by the way, they're competing with Indiana for top talent. That would be like Oral Roberts University all of a sudden going to the Final Four multiple years in a row. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, so Brad Stevens is a great coach, and he was your coach. What was it like to be coached by Brad? And by the way, I'm not saying this in a negative way, but Brad looks younger than you.
Yeah, he's a high class guy.
Okay.
He just, I feel like he's a good person. So whether it was basketball or football or soccer or tennis, or if he was a dentist, I feel like you could have a conversation with him regardless. And he's a stand-up act, and he's just a good character guy. You really don't. So the players going into the games and whatever he said, you listen to. You respect him. And, I feel like him being that way has kind of just led him to who he is. And all the best to him. He's helped me. He's changed the way I think and the way I play basketball. He's helped me out.
Now, when you get inside an NBA locker room, Z, a lot of us, Z, have you been in an NBA locker room this week? Have you been in a locker room for the NBA here the last week or two?
Let me think. This week?
I mean, I know we both got kicked out one time for streaking, but beyond that time, have you been in again?
This week. I'm going back to the week.
Okay.
No,
Jeff, have you been in an NBA locker room?
No, not recently.
Or an NBA huddle. So walk us in the NBA huddle. A coach Stevens, he's coaching in Boston, so I'm sure he sounds like a stereotypical Bostonian. He's probably already assimilated the accent. Is he in the huddle going, guys, here's the deal. We're going to freaking go in there, pass the ball to Olenek, and crush them. Absolutely dominate. Or what kind of things does he say in the locker room? You're a bunch of pro guys. I mean, he's like, guys, we got to score more points than the other guys. I mean, overall, I mean, what?
Phil, you got your brass knuckles.
Phil, you got your brass knuckles. You got. I mean, what are they? Are they doing a lot of rah-rahs, a lot of motivational?
Yeah.
What's going on?
See, that's the thing about Coach Stevens. He's never been, he's never got too high. He's never got too low. Like he controls his emotions, so he doesn't let it get the best of him. That's the thing about basketball. A lot of it is physical, being able to shoot, being able to pass, being able to jump. But, most of the game is mental. And from a head coach standpoint, you're the leader of the team. And if you don't have your emotions right and have everything in check, then, your team's going to follow behind you.
What is something that you learned from Brad in terms of just the mindsets, or what's a lesson, a principle that Brad Stevens, the head coach of the Celtics, and those of you out there who don't know a lot about basketball or don't follow professional basketball, Brad Stevens right now is in the conversation consistently as being coach of the year or one of the top coaches. I mean, he led a team this year that had a bunch of their top talent out, injured, guys missing, and to be very competitive, almost went to the NBA Finals. I mean, this is a legendary coach, one of the best coaches in college and now in the pros. What's something that you learned from your time with Coach Stevens?
Just his demeanor, how his approach to the game. He's always prepared, and when your coach is prepared, that gives you no option but to be prepared whenever you come on the court. So, he kind of taught me to study the game more, do your homework early. So whenever you come to the game, it's easy.
What kind of homework are you doing, Phil? What kind of homework are you doing? Is he assigning, like, hey, man, there are some algebra equations, some quadratic equations to work? I mean, what kind of stuff are you doing for homework?
That can go from anything between, watching film before the game, nights before the game, stretching, getting extra shots up, shooting extra free throws. Getting your mental and your physical body ready to play a game. You just don't step on the court and it just happens. You do all the work before, and then when you get on the court, it just kind of just flows like water. So it just becomes easier that way.
Who is one of the more hilarious, and I'm not asking you to get yourself in trouble where some guy's going to try to dunk on you or something, okay? I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be, this isn't a passive-aggressive question. I'm just saying, you play with a lot of personality types. Can you share with us, because a lot of people out there, Dr. Z, we've never been on the basketball court with Kobe Bryant. I mean, Phil's been on the court. You've covered some of the top players of all time. Who is the most aggressive guy that you've had to guard or play against where you go, that guy has got ice in his veins? That guy, you talk about intense, that guy's intense. And who's surprisingly funny? Who's somebody that's just in the locker room is funny? Maybe they say funny stuff on the court. They're just kind of a funny trash talker. They're hilarious. I mean, who's the most aggressive and who's the funniest?
The most aggressive, I've seen my second year with the Celtics. It would have to be when we played first round of playoffs against the Cleveland Cavaliers when LeBron was on there. He was, I don't know, I saw some, amazing things watching him play. And playing against him, it was amazing. And that kind of just showed, like, the level of talent there is in the NBA. Not just him, but you can go across the board. One of the funniest guys probably has to be Gerald Wallace. That was my rookie year in Boston. He was pretty funny. He was from Alabama.
Okay.
He had a lot. He had his comedy that he brought in every single day. It wasn't like he was trying to be funny, but it was just who he was.
Now, Thrive Nation, if you're tired of wasting both time and money on office supplies, I encourage you to check out My Guys. So again, if you're tired of wasting money on office and printer supplies, I encourage you to check out My Guys. That's onyximaging.com. Onyximaging.com. But I like spending time and money on office supplies. Well, then you don't want to check out onyximaging.com. But if you want to save both time and money, time and money on your office supplies, check out My Guys at onyximaging.com. Onyximaging.com.
Attend the world's best business workshop led by America's #1 business coach for free by by subscribing on iTunes and leaving us an objective review. Claim your tickets by emailing us proof that you did it and your contact information to info@thrivetimeshow.com.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio. And if you've ever thought to yourself, I wonder what it would be like to try to become a professional athlete, or I wonder what it would be like to try out for a professional team, or if you've ever thought to yourself, hey, I would have liked to play in the NBA, but I'm not even 6 feet tall. You are going to love today's interview with a grinder and a true thriver, a man by the name of Phil Pressey. Phil Pressey played multiple seasons with the Boston Celtics, and then went on to play with the Philadelphia 76ers, and then he played professionally in Barcelona, which is one step underneath the NBA. And recently, my good friend Phil Pressey got a call up from the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they said they would like for him to try out for their team and to compete for a roster spot during this year's Summer League in Las Vegas, Nevada. So now, without any further ado, my interview with NBA player and aspiring member of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Phil Pressey. And who's surprisingly funny? Who's somebody that's just in the locker room is funny? Maybe they say funny stuff on the court. They're just kind of a funny trash talker. They're hilarious. I mean, who's the most aggressive and who's the funniest?
The most aggressive, I've seen my second year with the Celtics. It would have to be when we played first round of playoffs against the Cleveland Cavaliers when LeBron was on there. He was, I don't know, I saw some, amazing things watching him play. And playing against him, it was amazing. And that kind of just showed, the level of talent there is in the NBA. You're not just him, but you can go across the board. One of the funniest guys probably has to be Gerald Wallace. That was my rookie year in Boston. He was pretty funny. He was from Alabama.
Okay.
He had a lot. He had his comedy that he brought in every single day. It wasn't like he was trying to be funny, but it was just who he was. So. Now,
Gerald Wallace, for those people who don't know, Gerald Wallace was a rebounding machine, was he not, earlier in his career? I mean, he was a rebounding machine.
He made a lot of money rebounding.
He made Arab money.
Yeah.
Which leads me into my next question for you, as we've talked about Arab money now. NBA salaries, and you played professionally last year in Barcelona. For people who don't understand, the Barcelona league is the second best league in the world. If you're thinking about it objectively, would you not agree with that, Phil? I mean, the Barcelona league is the second best league in the world.
Exactly. Yeah. I would definitely agree with that.
So talk to me about money and Arab money and making NBA money. When you're making money, and I won't ask you how much you're making, but were you shocked by how much of your check was taken out in taxes? I mean, because a lot of entrepreneurs we coach, we had one client last month, I'm not kidding, a client in New Orleans I've worked with for a long, long time, and they're making more money in a month than most people are making in a year. And I think a lot of people get shocked when they see, wow, I'm paying a lot of taxes. So not a political question. I'm just saying, were you blown away by how much you pay in taxes?
Amazed. That was like one of the things that, I had to sit down and I asked my mom. My mom helps me with, a lot of my taxes. And I'm asking her, like, wait, where is this money going? Like, why am I paying this taxes? Like, why? And she just sat down and told me, like, believe me, you better pay these taxes or you're going to be in jail. So after she told me that, I've been paying all those taxes without no type of hesitation. But the amount of money that you pay, it's amazing. Like, it's half your check, half the money you make.
Half that money. Now, we are in a free country, and but in our free country, we got to pay to support the free, keep our country safe and keep it protected. And I don't want any of the listeners out there to think we're complaining, but it literally is half your check. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I want to ask you this now. I know half of your check is missing when you're in the NBA, but talk to us about your schedule. What you miss half of your day? Is half of your day filled with basketball? I mean, do you guys?
Is everything half? You don't get half as much sleep.
You guys wake up at noon.
I mean,
you wear half clothes, no sleeves, no pant legs.
Do you work all day? What's your typical schedule look like for you when you're playing in an NBA season? What time are you getting up? What time are you going to bed? Walk us through a typical game day.
Game day, so you probably usually wake up I usually wake up around 7:30 and try to I start my day off by thanking God and looking over a scripture. I kind of like get a good stretch in. I got like a little routine that I do every single morning. That usually takes about an hour.
Tell us this routine. What are you doing? You stretching, or you're being grateful? Anything else you're doing there?
Yeah, grateful. It's yoga. I do yoga every morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do yoga and kind of, take some time to reflect and get my mind right. Because if you get your mind right when you start the morning, it kind of starts your day off. Whether it's if you have something bad that happens to you in the morning, that you're gonna probably have a bad day. So I try to start my morning off right every single morning. And then depending on if you have practice around 11 or 12, you get breakfast and you go into practice. That's probably an hour and a half. You get out of practice, you go home, relax a little bit, and then you head back to the gym, depending on what time the game is, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours before, and you start your preparation before the game. So it's a whole day thing, It's a kind of like a thing that you have to be focused and, focused on whatever your goal is for the day.
Now,
so for me, it doesn't change. Whether it's a game day or not, I have the same type of, drive.
After a game, what time are you going to bed? Are you going to bed at like 4 in the morning? You watching cartoons? Or what are you doing?
Yeah.
What time do you go to bed? What time do you go to bed?
Sometimes it's tough, especially in the NBA, because you could be playing at 7 o'clock and get out of the game around like 11, and then you fly across the world and get into a hotel around 1 or 2, and then you might not go to sleep until 4.
So you have the NBA schedule is a little bit crazy, and I want to ask you now that you're on the summer league team here right now for the Thunder. You're in Las Vegas, a city that Dr. Zellner loves, Vegas. So where are they having you guys stay right now? Are they putting you in the Ramada? Are you staying out back behind a Shell gas station? I mean, where do they have you staying?
Right now we're in the Four Seasons.
Well, that's not a bad deal.
Well,
it's a nice area.
So now, do you have a roommate? Do you have a roommate, or do you stay there with a chaperone that says, "Go to bed, you guys"? I mean, how does that look?
Hold on, say that again, Clay.
Yeah, no problem. Do you guys have do you stay with roommates when you're going to the summer league, or do you have a chaperone that runs around making sure everyone goes to bed on time, or what's going on?
Nah, so in college, you have a roommate, but once you leave college, that's kind of like the graduation where you kind of become a man. So once you go to the NBA, you don't have roommates anymore. You don't have a chaperone. It's kind of you're professional now, so they expect you to they expect you to wake up on time. They expect you to show up to work on time. They expect you to take care of your body. They expect you to do everything that comes with being a professional. So that's why they pay you all that money, to take care of everything.
Now,
everything.
John Kelly in our office has been watching your summer league game just like a hawk, just watching you and telling me the highlights, and we're watching highlights. And you had a good game the other day. What's your mindset right now on this team? Because you're going to make the team. We know you're going to make the team. Z. No.
Prophesy it.
He's gonna make the team.
Prophesy.
Gonna be on the team. Here we go. Thunder. So what's the mindset like as you head into making the team here? What's going on in your mind?
My mindset. I mean, it's just not only making the Thunder. It's the whole. Every NBA team is in the arena. So whenever I step on the court, right now I'm going to make it back to the NBA, but the process is to take every game like it's my last. So whenever I'm playing defense, I'm as tenacious as possible. I'm not going to leave nothing for doubt. I'm going to go out there and put 100% on the court. So I'm not going to leave the court saying, oh, I could have did this better, I could have did that better. I'm going to go out there, and leave it all.
There you go. And that's what we preach. That's what we tried to get all of the entrepreneurs that come through our program to have the mindset.
Thrivers, if you're out there today and you're thinking about building onto your church, or maybe expanding your restaurant, or building a brand new building for your business, you're going to want to work with a contractor that grinds as hard as you do. A guy that works as hard as Phil Pressey's working right now to try to make that roster spot on the Oklahoma City Thunder. You want to work with somebody who has not just the ability to state they work hard, but you want someone with a track record of working hard. And that's why I am so proud to encourage you to check out Williams Contracting for all of your commercial building needs. That's Williams Contracting. Check them out online today at will-con.com. That's will-con.com. Again, schedule your free consultation. You absolutely are not going to regret the decision to do it. If you're looking to build a building for your business, check out will-con.com.
Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm a dive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here.
Imagine that you're under 6 feet tall and you want to play in the NBA. Imagine that you have a dominant high school career when everybody says that you're too small. And then imagine what it would be like to have an unbelievably dominant college career at Missouri, where you dominate Division I basketball, only to be told yet again you're not tall enough. Imagine what it would be like to then declare your eligibility for the National Basketball Association, and then to only discover that you weren't drafted because you might not be, quote-unquote, good enough to be drafted in the first round or the second round or any round of the NBA draft. Well, my friend, if you can relate to that idea of being rejected and having to really grind and work for everything you've ever earned, everything you've ever achieved in life, having to grind for it and fight for it, you are absolutely going to love today's interview with NBA player Phil Pressey. Phil Pressey is a good friend of mine. He played multiple years with the Boston Celtics, and then he played with the Philadelphia 76ers before playing a year in the Barcelona League, which is absolutely it's the highest level of basketball you can play if you're not in the NBA. It's just one step underneath the NBA. And recently my friend got a call from the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they asked him to try out for the team. So he's actually playing in the Oklahoma City Thunder's Summer League based in Las Vegas, Nevada. And during this interview, he talks about what it's like to be in an NBA huddle, what it's like to dominate high school basketball, what it feels like to not be drafted. And as we get back into the interview, he's explained to us the mentality and that grind mentality that it just takes, that grinder, that entrepreneurial, that work ethic that it takes to make it to the next level. Without any further ado, our interview with the NBA's Phil Pressey. And Thrive Nation, if you're out there, maybe we can form a prayer chain, because I hope that he becomes the newest member of the Oklahoma City Thunder after having a great Summer League campaign out there in Las Vegas on the Thunder's Summer League team.
Can you tell us, open up your brain a little bit for us?
Open your brain.
Open your brain up. and share with all the entrepreneurs out there that are listening, that are saying, you know, I wish I had that drive.
That dragon energy.
I wish I had that dragon.
That Kanye West dragon energy. The energy that Kanye.
Okay, we'll call it that. And where does that go back to? How did you get it? How do you harness it? Because you said a few times, I've got a chip on my shoulder. You know, I've taken the negative and turned it into positive.
Oh.
I've taken that and I've used it for motivation. Where does that come from? And if someone's out there listening, going, boy, I sure wish I had that. What would you tell that person?
It takes practice, you know, like if you practice cooking, you know, you practice math problems, you practice whatever it is you practice, it takes practice. And since I was, you know, young, even though I didn't know I was doing it, I was putting like quotes on my wall, you know.
There you go.
One of my favorites was Tim Duncan. It was good, better, best, never let it rest until your good is better than your best.
There you go.
And Yeah, and it's crazy. I had like a little board on my wall that I used to just cut out and print out quotes and just put them on my wall. And, that's some of the things I kind of just drove me. And I do it till this day. And I practice it every day. Like I said, when I wake up in the morning, I have my little journal that I look at, that I write down. And, I listen to motivational people like Maya Angelou. I listen to, how they speak and, what drives them. That's one thing that, you can't be afraid to do is, listen and learn to other people. So
you surrounded yourself with people that have that mindset and the fact of maybe not physically, but at least what they're saying, what they're doing. You even wrote it down. You were purposeful in that. That's okay. Good step one. Next step.
Yeah. Sometimes I just call some people I know like Clay, even though I don't need nothing from Clay, Clay doesn't need anything from me. Just hearing his voice, hearing his positive reinforcement, that keeps me going. So, I just try to, just practice that mindset, I practice it every day. I write it down. I didn't notice that I was doing it when I was younger, but it kind of just became who I am, and that's what allows me to have that drive and keep going.
This is my
when things aren't going my way.
This is my Phil Pressey commercial here for anybody out there. Phil Pressey is one of the most kind, generous, hardworking guys ever. And he took the time to go up into my son's room when you stayed with us. You stayed with us. And my son was like, is Phil going to sleep in my room? And then after interacting with our family, he took the time to mail my wife a shirt and to mail me 2 pairs of shoes and to do things that you didn't have to do. But this is a teaching moment for everybody out there. Anybody who's at the top of their game is excessively nice. They have an aura of gratitude. So Sean Copeland, your partner, Z, with Regent Bank.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever somebody deposits a decent amount of money in the bank or begins a deal with them, he always, I can't say every single time, but he's known for sending a handwritten note with a blue pen, a thank you. Phil Pressey didn't have to be the kind, generous guy he is. He could say, I'm going to meet a lot of people, I move on. But he builds relationships. And when you build a relationship, it creates this relationship where now you have someone rowing in the boat with you. And that's I think so many people, they want a speed network. They want to get as many likes and friends on LinkedIn and Facebook and all these false acquaintances that can now troll through your photos on social media. But Phil wants to go deep. I mean, he's going deep like the deep end of the pool and building those relationships. And so when you, if you're out there and you're going, I don't know who Phil Pressey is, I encourage you to Google search the guy. And I don't know if we need to start a prayer chain from coast to coast, or at least from coast to the center of America, from coast to Vegas. But I'm telling you, man, you're going to make that team because not only are you a great teammate, I've heard that said countless times, you're a great teammate, but you know how to change the tempo of a game, and you do give it your all. That defense, man, I saw you got a couple assists the other night. Your defense was locked down, baby. What's going on? Are you on steroids, Phil?
You gotta find something that nobody does. Find that niche, whatever it is in life, whatever you can do that separates yourself from others. That's what's gonna make you make it. And
Come on now.
Find that drive. So that's my mindset. Defense. That's what I've been trying to separate myself, and then once I get in that way, then I can start working on other parts of my game. But right now, I know what's going to separate me, and that's what I'm going with.
Now, I've got just a couple more questions here for you. These are some hard-hitting questions.
Hard-hitting.
Try not to let it rock your mind. Here we go.
This just in.
In your life, if you could go back and tell your 18-year-old self something now that you're the ripe old age. How old are you, Phil? Last count, how old are you again?
27.
27. Now, 9 years in the past, if you go back and talk to your 18-year-old self and say, young Phil, listen up. Young self, when you stop dunking, I have to tell you some things. What would you tell your younger self right now? You go, gosh, I wish I would have known that.
What I would tell my younger self at 18, probably just, I don't know. Maybe
spend money faster. Spend money faster.
I would say, I would say you're doing the right thing. Just keep going. That the reinforcement. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep learning. Oh, maybe read more books. That's one thing I would tell my 18-year-old self was read more, because ever since I started reading more, I've been learning more, and that's what it's all really about. You might, finish college or high school, but you never finish learning. So that's what I'd probably tell myself at 18, is to keep reading more books.
So if you, could recommend a few books for the listeners, maybe you say, hey, I recently read this book, or this is a book I've read. What are some of your favorite books? Because our listeners are voracious readers. They love to study the books that are recommended. So if you recommend like a really crazy book, I want you to know you're probably going to ruin somebody's life here, Phil. So don't recommend a book that you absolutely hate. I mean, what's a real book where you go, that book right there, man, or a couple of your favorite books?
My favorite book is Wooden on Leadership. This is John Wooden. Everybody knows who John Wooden is. He's a famous basketball coach, college coach, and he's famous because of his because of not who he is, but what he brings, and what he teaches. So Wooden on Leadership. The Four Agreements. I don't know if you ever heard of that book by Don Miguel. That's a good one.
The Four Agreements by Don Miguel?
Yeah.
Is he a communist?
No.
I'm just messing with you. All right, so Don Miguel, where did you find that book? Was that recommended to you from somebody?
Yeah, it was recommended to me by a friend. It just talks about love, and that's the most important thing, and being free with yourself. It's a good book. Body Mind Mastery by Dan Millman. That's a very good one. It just talks about the sports and how about the mental aspect of sports, and how that is very, very important when it comes to sports or whatever it is in life. Is the mental how I've been saying this for the whole entire conversation we've been having. But that's a couple of them that I've been reading.
Okay. Now
I don't know. Have you read Trevor Noah's book, Born a Crime?
Born a Crime?
Yeah. Trevor Noah, he's a comedian, and it talks about he's from Africa. And it talks about his time there growing up in Africa. It's pretty good,
So we got Born a Crime, Body Mind Mastery, Wooden on Leadership, and there was one more that you had shared there. One more.
The Four Agreements.
The Four Agreements. Okay, putting these on the show notes here. A wise man has a lot of book recommendations, so we're just getting we're putting all the links on the show notes so the listeners can find them and buy them on Amazon if they want to gobble those books up. Now, I have one final question for you, and I'm sure Z has one for you too. Of all the characters you've met in the NBA, who stands out to you alone as you say, that is a dude, I had no idea that dude did that, or that he was that way, or, where because you meet a lot of characters, and what happens is the NBA is a league of stars, so they promote the game by, tomorrow night we're going to have LeBron, playing against such and such. We're going to have we're going to have James Harden leading the Thunder, or leading the Rockets versus the Russell Westbrook and the Thunder. There's always they market the individual stars, but a lot of times you don't get to know the players' personality types. You just see them on the court. Who's the guy that you met? You said to yourself, that right there is probably the most memorable the most memorable dude I've met in the NBA so far.
Steph Curry, he was one, I'm going to say him because he's one of the most well-known, athletes in the world. Just how humble he is, and for, the best player on the Warriors, or one of the best players on the Warriors, to be that humble, it kind of trickles down to the rest of the team.
Stay tuned. It's the Thrive Time Show on your radio.
3, 2, 1, boom! You are now entering the dojo of Mojo and the Thrive Time Show.
Thrive Time Show on the microphone. What is this? Top of the iTunes charts in the category of business. Drilling down on business topics like we are a dentist. Providing you with mentorship like you are an apprentice. And we go so fast that you might get motion sickness. Grab a pen and pad to the lab. Let's get in this. It's time to bear some fruit like some Florida oranges. 3, 2, 1. Here come the business ninjas.
Sonic boom.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to another exciting edition of the Thrive Time Show on your radio. And on today's show, Chup, we're interviewing an NBA baller who is 5 foot 10 inches tall, 5 feet 10 inches tall.
Who can soar?
How tall are you, Chup?
I'm like an eighth of an inch below 6 feet. I wanted to be 6 feet my whole life, but we'll say 5'11".
And I'm 6'1".
Yep.
And at the peak of my jumping ability, I could dunk a guy's basketball with a running start and just had to time it
Springy
right.
floor.
Springy floors. I had to take steroids the month before, but I could do it.
Those George Costanza Jumpman shoes. I know
Got
you know
a couple
what I'm talking
gyms
about.
where you could really have a lot of give, where I could do a two-hand, but that wasn't like my. But this guy, Phil Pressey, I mean, he's 5'10", and some of his dunks are crazy.
There's the one on YouTube of him in high school that is just insane. It's on the show notes.
Put it on the
Check it
show
out.
notes. And he actually dominated high school basketball, but he was still not even 6 feet tall.
Right.
He dominated college basketball, leading Missouri to a nearly undefeated year. But he declared his eligibility for the NBA draft and was not drafted. And most people probably would have quit. But he didn't. He ended up making it onto the Celtics as an undrafted player.
It's awesome.
Played on the Celtics for multiple years. Then he played on the Philadelphia 76ers. Then last year he played in the Barcelona League, which is one level under the NBA. I mean, these are guys who are still multi-million-dollar athletes. The competition's intense.
Right. Isn't Spain always the U.S.'s main competition? And
I
the
cannot,
Olympics? And,
check this just in. I can't really comment on whether Spain or Barcelona or these other people really challenge us in the game of basketball. But I can say that he feels a very, very good basketball player, and he has now been called and asked if he would like to try out for the Oklahoma City Thunder to be on their team. So he's now currently in Las Vegas, and he's a friend of mine, and he's currently doing Summer League, and we asked if we could interrupt his busy NBA schedule to share with us what life in the NBA looks like. And so we've talked a lot about diligence and work ethic and book recommendations. But now as we get back into the interview, we're asking Phil about who is one of the most incredible personalities that he has met during his time in the NBA and why.
Right.
So without any further ado, back to our interview with Phil Pressey. Who's a guy that you met and you said to yourself, that right there is probably the most memorable the most memorable dude I've met in the NBA so far?
I mean, Steph Curry, he was one, I'm going to say him because he's one of the most well-known, athletes in the world. Just how humble he is, And for, the best player on the Warriors, or one of the best players on the Warriors, to be that humble, it kind of trickles down to the rest of the team. So, I mean, that made a, impression on me. His how modest he is and how he carries himself and his demeanor. It's amazing to see because of, who he is and what he's done. So, anybody can win championships and MVPs and, be cocky and,
right.
be and do a lot. But he finds a way to, to humble himself and, speak to other people. And, that's amazing to see that. So he's probably had the biggest impression on me.
Now, this is the unsolicited tip for you. I know that Mr. Curry is very humble, but I think you should sign his autograph. I think you should sign your autograph for him. I think you should at least do that. I mean, it's kind of you not signing your autograph's kind of a mean way to treat the most humble man in the world right there. So if you maybe before the next game you give him an autograph ball. Because I know he wants it. He just doesn't want to ask. He didn't want to impose.
Yeah.
He's the most humble man in the world.
It gets like that sometimes. Yeah. I gotta. I don't want to do too much. So.
Okay.
Okay, Phil. So my question is, when? Because it's when you're on the Thunder.
Yes.
This year.
Come on now.
Okay.
And Clay and I drive down I-44 from Tulsa, the approximately 100 miles to said stadium.
Yes.
Okay.
Here we go.
and we're sitting courtside, and you make a spectacular dunk. You do a dribble, fake, dunk. Dunk. And you stand there, and you come running back to play defense. Will you run by us and give us a high or a low? Just a 5. I don't need a 10.
Most definitely.
I don't need a 10. I just need like let's just a 5.
And when I get arrested for streaking to celebrate, will you please
bail him out?
Please bail me out.
It was a flesh-colored bodysuit.
I got you. If you get arrested for streaking, I'll be the first person to do it.
There you go.
I'll leave the listeners.
We'll both
I'll
be
leave the
alive.
listeners with a funny story real quick. A friend of mine did go to the first New York Yankees game at their new stadium.
Oh, no, not the story.
And in right field, there's a man. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, Chip. If we can put it on the show notes, it's the first streaker at the New York Yankees
Turn
new
the podcast
stadium.
off. You don't want to hear the story. Turn it off.
And there's a guy, Phil, who is a manager of an employee. So he's not like the boss. He's just a manager. And he turns to his buddy and he says, "Hey, here's the deal. The first time someone hits the ball, if you run out there nude, I'll give you like $1,000 or something." And my friend, I think it was Jonathan Kelly that was at the game. We'll have to ask him, but one of my friends was at the game, and so this dude comes. He takes off all of his clothes and he's wearing just a coat.
No. He kind of argues with him. He's like, "I'm not going to do that." He's like, "Yeah."
They go back and forth for a while.
Back and forth for a while.
So he convinces him. So as soon as they hit the ball, the crack of the bat, the ball goes into right field, and he jumps over the right field wall, totally nude, and starts sprinting. And then once he gets about halfway to second base, I think he realizes, where do you go? What's the exit? What's the exit strategy?
Where am I running to?
And people just tackled him. The umpires tackled him. I believe the guy lost that job, spent considerable jail time, and now is listed in New York. That's listed as some kind of sex crime.
Yeah.
So it definitely wasn't worth it.
No. So anyway, I'm just saying, when I say that I'm going to streak to celebrate your dunk, that's a commit. See, that's like a pretty big commitment.
It's more of a mental streaking. Let's call it what it is.
Mental streaking.
I mean, come
it's
on.
Flesh.
I mean, the Thrive Time show needs you, Clay.
Right. Okay. So Phil, I'm sorry, I can't.
I don't know that we can record in a prison cell. We might. I don't know.
Tupac did a lot of recording from prison.
Of course, he's
Thrive Nation, if you're out there looking for a high-caliber automotive repair shop that can fix your Ford automobile quickly, on time, on budget, then you want to definitely reach out to our good friends at RC Auto Specialists. Whereas I said that if Phil Pressey got a dunk in an NBA game while playing for the Thunder, I would go streaking. They would say that. They would never say that.
No.
They would never say that because they're high quality,
high class,
high integrity people. So if you're looking to do business with a high quality, high integrity, high class automotive repair shop that specializes in repairing Ford automobiles within Tulsa, Oklahoma, check out our good friends at RC Auto Specialists. That's RC Auto Specialists. What was that? RCAutoSpecialists.com. Boom.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
It is the Thrive Time Show. Let your boo begin, where we drop knowledge bombs for you in Portland. Teaching and proving systems to make your ends so you can produce the greenery like all the Oregon. Sue will call you Franklin because you got Benjamins. We'll call you Ben Pearl because you just bought a Benz. And then you'll be bragging to your wife and kids that your wallet's overweight, but it used to be thin. Comes away, this is Clay broadcaster with the Zen, with the focus locked in like San Quentin. Can I get a B to the O to the M? You've heard the rumors, he is I and I is him. He be the Z and I be the C. Now it's teaching business skills from Clay to Z. We both grew up poor, but we're poor no more. The goal of this show is to help you soar. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrive Time Show on your radio. And on today's show, we are just now wrapping up an interview that we did earlier today with NBA basketball player Phil Pressey. He stands at 5'11", 5'10", 5 feet 10 inches. This is a guy who was very dominant during high school, and they said he's too small. He went on to play in college at Missouri, dominated. They said he's too small. He declared his eligibility for the NBA draft, and they said he's too small. So now, here he is in the NBA. He's played 2 seasons with the Celtics, 1 with the Philadelphia 76ers, and he has now been asked by the Oklahoma City Thunder to try out for their team. So he's currently playing in Las Vegas, Nevada, attempting to make the team. You think about the pressure of owning a small business, the pressure of knowing either you make the sale or you don't. Either you make payroll or you don't. Either you succeed or you fail. People telling you can't do it. You don't have what it takes. Have you ever done this before?
You're too small.
People tell you all the time as an entrepreneur, you can't do it. You're the first to do it. I don't know if you can do it. What's your backup plan? How are you going to? But Phil,
Clay, aren't you scared?
People say that all the time.
My God, right, all the time.
But yet Phil Pressey has persevered, and I would encourage all the listeners out there to go on NBA.com. Look up the Summer League. Find Phil Pressey. Find him on Facebook. Maybe give him a word of encouragement. Maybe send him a tweet. Tell him how much you care about him. Tell him how much you're cheering for, because he represents, if there's anybody who's ever personified the entrepreneurial spirit, a guy who has become a great friend of mine and a guy who I can't tell you how much I wish all of you could meet in person. Maybe one of these days we'll have him come speak at a workshop. But it is he is a source of encouragement for so many. And if you're out there and you're saying, gosh, I feel like my back's up against the wall and I don't have a backup plan, this guy can absolutely relate to you. So now, without any further ado, back to our interview with NBA player Phil Pressey. No. So anyway, I'm just saying, when I say that I'm going to streak to celebrate your dunk, that's a commit. That's like a pretty big commitment.
It's more of a mental streaking. Let's call it what it is.
Mental streaking.
I mean, come on.
Flesh.
I mean,
right.
The Thrive Time show needs you, Clay.
Right. Okay. So Phil, I'm sorry, I can't.
I don't know that we can record in a prison cell. We might. I don't know.
Tupac did a lot of recording from prison.
Of course, he's Tupac.
All right, so Phil, we appreciate you so much. For any of the listeners that want to maybe attend your summer camp, we have a lot of listeners in the Dallas area. If anybody wants to attend your summer camp and be coached by you, or they want to learn more about you, is there a website you direct them to? Do you want to, how can people learn more about the Phil Pressey Show?
Oh, yeah, so if they want to, go to my camps, which I hold every summer, between June, first week of June to the end of June. I hold 2 basketball camps, one from 3rd through 8th grade and one high school camp.
Got it.
You can go to PresseyCamps.com, Pressey camp, camps.com, and you'll find enough information on there to get in contact with me or my coach who helps me out with the camp as well. So, if anybody wants to go, just follow that website.
Phil, I'm excited for you. I'm going to congratulate you in advance. Welcome back to the NBA, my friend. We are so excited for you. You got it, baby. Go out there and dominate.
Phil.
All right, Dr. Z.
Phil. Oh! All right, man. Have a great day, okay?
All right, see ya.
Thanks, buddy.
Chup, in sort of a weird twist of events, I feel like the Thrive Nation almost doesn't want Phil Pressey to earn a roster spot, because if he does make it to the Thunder and make it as their backup point guard this year, you know that he is going to make a dunk. And when he does make a dunk, I'll be there. And when he is making the dunk and I am there, I think a lot of people are worried that I might go streaking.
Mental visuals.
I think a lot of people are saying, I hope he doesn't make it to the NBA. So Thrive Nation, it was just sort of a figurative sort of
it was a goof.
It was a faux pas.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna mentally streak for Phil Pressey if he makes a dunk in an NBA game this year while playing for the Thunder.
I like that idea.
I don't want all the Thrive Nation out there pushing, praying for him not to make the team.
A lot of blind people after that game.
Now, Thrive Nation, I tell you what, one thing I like to do is I like to celebrate wins. And so what we're going to do during the final part of this segment, as well as the next segment, is brag on people out there just like you who have learned the proven systems, but who've decided to not just be a knower of the systems, but a doer of the systems. People who've decided to actually implement the proven systems and have gone on to produce massive wins for their family, for their company, and it has been an encouragement to so many people. So now, without any further ado, we have a interview or a testimonial from a thriver just like you who's having massive success with their business. My friends, my family, welcome to the story of Platinum Pest and Lawn. That's Platinum Pest and Lawn. They're implementing the systems diligently, they're changing the game, and they're reaping the rewards. It's one thing to want to know the system, but it's another to actually implement them. Stay tuned.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and our ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need.
Oh, Chop, it makes me want to cry. Platinum Pest and Lawn, they're implementing the systems. They're changing the game in their industry. Thank you, Platinum Pest. Stay tuned.
And now, broadcasting live from the box that rocks, it's the Thrive Time Business Coach Radio Show.
It's time for higher learning and higher earning. Taking you to the top like we're hiking Mount Vernon. We're changing the mindsets like we're incense burning. Passing on the magic like our name was Irvin. Serving up that knowledge like I was a servant. And I cite what I say so you know I'm not a servant. The Thrive Time Show, bringing the heat while fervent. Giving it to you straight in a world that's swerving. Stacking the cash, making the dash, earning the plaques, bringing it back. Bring me the track so I can get up on the mic and speak the facts. Stacking the cash, making the dash, earning the plaques, bringing it back. Bring me the track so I can get up on the mic and speak the facts. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. And on today's show, we've had a rare opportunity to interview NBA basketball player Phil Pressey. The guy stands at the height of 5'10", yet he has made it to the NBA, despite being told he was too small in high school, too small when he played college at Missouri, and then too small. He actually wasn't drafted when he declared his eligibility for the NBA, but yet he played multiple seasons with the Celtics, then with the 76ers, and now he's on the Oklahoma City Thunder competing yet again for a roster spot. You talk about diligence. You talk about grinding. In the Bible, Proverbs 10:4 states, we'll put it on the show notes. I like to put this on the show notes, as many show notes as we possibly can. But Proverbs 10:4 states, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Diligence means the steady application of effort. And so now, without any further ado, I'm going to play for you an audio clip from a thriver out there just like you. Somebody out there just like you who's thought to themselves, I'm tired of being stuck. I don't want to be stuck anymore. I want to move beyond just surviving. I want to grow my freaking business. I'm tired of just barely making it. And so they had the courage to do what? They booked a ticket to attend an in-person Thrive Time Show workshop. They came out to the workshop, And unlike most people who, not you, not
No,
you,
no, no,
not
no,
you,
no,
not you, not you,
no.
other people. But unlike you, like most people, not you, but other people.
The others.
Who just want to learn systems and processes. They want to watch TED Talks and read blogs. These guys actually wanted to implement the systems.
Right.
Chup, have you met Jared and Jennifer?
Two of the most awesome people that I've had the pleasure of meeting, to be honest with you.
And what makes them so spectacular, so awesome?
They're diligent and they follow up on what they say they're going to do. So not only are they a client of ours, I've actually used their service.
Oh, come on now.
And they were on time. They were early, actually. They text you to let you know when they're going to be there. They text you a photo of the person that's going to do the service at your house. And then they get the job done. And guess what? There's no more pests at my house. Besides me. I'm still there.
There's no snakes by your lake?
Nope. Got rid of my lake, too.
There's no mosquitoes there in your mojito?
Nope. Drink them down. No problem.
There's no beetles in your Skeetles?
No, yeah, we do have that.
They did not fix it.
That's a bit of an issue, but we'll...
Now, the point of a business is a business exists to serve...
the owner.
Right. And so these guys have embraced scripts, marketing, processes, systems,
calendars.
So they're able to gain time freedom and financial freedom. So if you're out there saying, listen, I've got a ton of financial freedom, but I have no time freedom, we can help you.
That's what we do.
But we can't help you if we don't get a chance to know you. So the best thing I would recommend you do to put your toe in the water is schedule your opportunity, book a ticket to attend our next in-person Thrive Time Show 2-day, 15-hour interactive workshop. And to give you free tickets, all you have to do is subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and leave us an objective review. And that's how we got to know the folks at Platinum Pest.
That's right.
They actually just came out to a workshop, and I think initially they were probably thinking, well, this is probably a scam. It's probably not going to work.
Upsell us.
But they came out to the workshop, and to their credit, they took notes. They sat up front. They went through the boom book. They executed the processes, the systems. They became a client, and now their business has grown by over 500%.
Yeah, you heard them. Their booking percentage is, over 80-something%? I mean,
so
that's
Thrive
amazing.
Nation, as they share their success story, I want you to take notes. Take notes. What are they doing that you're not doing?
Yes.
Because they're not abnormal in any way other than they are the most diligent and hardworking people I have yet to work with. They are kind. They're courteous. They remind me of the Colas.
Oh, yeah.
They remind me of Full Package Media. They remind me of Deb with H2O Oasis. They remind me of a lot of our clients. They're that kind of that grinder, that person who gets up before everybody else. While the world's still sleeping, they're actually competing. Right. These guys are hard workers, and I'm telling you what, you are going to be blessed when you hear their story. Stay tuned. It's the Platinum Pest story right here on the Thrive Time Show on your radio. And podcast download.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also, we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah, so here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months, or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. That they taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Thrive Nation, if you're out there today and you have a business and your business is growing, not at the rate that you need it to or not at the rate that you want it to, I would encourage you to bet on yourself, believe in yourself, and take the first step. All you got to do is go find the Thrive Time Show on iTunes and just subscribe to the podcast and leave us an objective review. Step one, subscribing is free. Leaving us an objective review is free. And Shep, emailing us proof you did it to info@thrivetimeshow.com is free.
That's 3 things that are free.
That's the 3 that are free.
That's right.
Then you attend the workshop. I think it's $27 for a workbook.
That's it.
And learn the proven systems. And if you need someone to help you implement the systems and somebody to help you with your graphic design, your photography, your videography, your search engine optimization, your coaching, your accounting, we can help you with that.
Oh,
but
yes.
we can't help you if we don't get a chance to know you. So I encourage you to take action. You, my friend, are my passion. Thank you for Platinum Pest for sharing your story. And without any further ado, we'd like to end the show with a boom. 3, 2, 1, boom!
It went well. I got the connection with Brad. He's all willing to help me out, and I'm just happy to be back in Boston.
What's it been like getting to work with all the staff, the new staff especially, like Sam and Charles and everybody so far?
Well, starting with Joe, he's been very welcoming. Sam and Charles, they're big-time assistants. I'm just happy to be here, be able to learn, and be a part of the system.
You're able to be around the facility a little bit during the year and talk to some people there. What were the conversations you had during that time about, the team and just what was going on there?
It's more about the culture. Celtics have a big history. My time playing here, I was able to feel it. The fans are very supportive. The organization is big time, so I'm just happy to be able to be back and transition into coaching and be able to help out as much as possible.
How did this come together for you? Obviously, you came to visit the Celtics facility toward the end of the season. How did it come together that you ended up a part of the coaching staff this summer?
Just maintaining relationships. Starting with Danny Ainge, when I played here, I was able to communicate him and stay in contact with him, and now with Brad. He's been very instrumental in me transitioning to coaching, and I'm just happy to be a part of the staff and just learn from Joe and the rest of the staff.
How has Brad helped you as you've tried to become a coach?
Just with his leadership skills. I feel like he's a big-time leader, and his ability to connect with the players and the whole organization is something that I can learn from.
How does he continue to set a tone from what you've seen in terms of the stuff this team does on the court? How much were you able to watch them play last year and see what they did?
I'm always watching. I'm always watching, and from my first year with Brad, it was his first year with the Celtics. That was 1 year. Ever since then, it's been going up. So being able to be a part of this Celtics tradition, I'm very grateful.
What kind of relationships do you have with the players here? Who have you been able to talk to?
Say that one more time.
What kind of relationships do you have with the players, and who have you been able to talk to?
I've been trying to talk to everybody. I'm new. I've been a new guy over and over again, but being able to come back here, I'm just trying to build new relationship as the year goes on.
Great to have you back.
And we've been, like me and my family, I brought all my managers at one time, and I'm gonna bring another managers on June 27, 28. I'm gonna bring another managers over there. You should come. I mean, you should. I've been there several times. Me, my sons, my wife. We've been there. You have to be there in order to believe it. You have one. I mean, you out of several books, but the Millionaire, whatever, the big huge book, you have to read it. It's the one I read it from one page to the end to several times already. It's worth thousands, if not millions. The price is unbelievable.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on today's show, we have an opportunity to interview a wonderful longtime client. His business is called tortillasoup.com. It is a Mexican restaurant with multiple locations, and I'm super excited to have the owner, the founder of the company, Saul Mendoza. Welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Life is beautiful. Thank you. It's a pleasure to work with you, my friend.
I got to ask you, how did you initially hear about the business coaching that we do?
Somebody told me about the great job you do it, and I read the book, and I decided to go to the tradeshow.com. It's the most important thing is happening for my life. Oh, my. I love you. I love you, all of you guys.
Now, I tell my team all the time, and I think Jordan probably tells you, I absolutely love your family, love you guys. It's just I really feel like you understand the same values and mindset to work ethic that we bring. But I want people to know this. Before we met, you had been in business since, I think, 2008. Is that correct?
It's correct. It's correct. When I opened Tortilla Soup, it was 2008 when the crisis was in the country. I don't believe in crisis. I just believe in hard work. I love.
Now,
I love you.
Well, let me ask you this. What motivated you to start your restaurant in 2008?
Hungry. All the immigrants who come to this beautiful country, we are lucky to be in this beautiful country, hungry. You need to bring up money for your family, your wife.
So you started this company, Tortilla Soup, and over that time, we ended up working with you here the last couple of years. And my understanding is you're having growth. Could you tell the listeners what kind of measurable or visible success have you been having since we teamed up with you?
Well, sales, I'm keeping it steady. And tortillasoup.com, we have an increase of 13% growth, which is a great success in our restaurant industry. And on Brookhaven, we have a 11.40% increase on profits. And I mean, everyone is happy. They're making money. We're making money. You're making money. Everyone is making money. Everyone happy. I love happy people.
Now let's talk about this for a second. I mean, when we talk about business consulting, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful companies, I'm sure, consulting firms that talk in theories. I'm all about action, practical steps. And so I want to talk about that for a second. We had to really work with you guys, and you've been fast to adapt to make sure that every single customer that comes into your place is wowed and wow that person. I know you were already doing that, but how has what kind of emphasis have you put on wowing those customers? Because you guys always were doing a great job, but from what I'm hearing from your coach, Jordan, is that people are absolutely being wowed.
Yes, yes, sir. Any first customer who comes to the restaurant, he will get a free cheese dip or a free margarita. It's up to them. But the thing, I want everyone greet them, making them hospitality, making them happy. I want them to greet them the most, to feel like they are better than at home. Because, I mean, service you can get in a vending machine, but hospitality, you have to provide it. You have to make them feel, because emotions work. And I want them to live happy. If they arrive happy, I want them to live better way.
You know, and the way I look at a business, I know you do too, is from left to right, very linear. And so the first step is you got to get in front of your ideal and likely buyers. The second step is you have to actually wow them, you know, but step number one, you've got to get in front of them. Can you talk about the increase of number of people who are finding you online? Are you finding that since working with us that more people are finding you online?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just to make it sure, on one of our locations, we triple our Google reviews, video reviews. People is happy to providing us the video and Google reviews, because, I mean, we provide quality, but we didn't know we had to increase the Google and video reviews. Now, every server, or most of them, the A players, they're happy to provide video reviews, and people is happy to provide us with that, because that way, some people they even drive 3 and 4 hours because we're making noise on the internet. We're making noise on I mean, all social networks. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. And one occasion, I don't improve it the way you tell me us, because one of the managers, he doesn't believe it, and the sales are less and less. And when you guys, oh my God, we keep growing.
So you're getting more people in now. You're more people are finding you online.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. More people.
Do you think it's the number of new people finding you? I mean, you're in the restaurant, you manage the teams, you manage the locations. Do you feel like is it maybe double the amount of first-time customers that are finding you online, or is there some sort of number or metric you found there?
More than double. That's why we have sales increasing. I mean, more than double. I mean, I'm pretty sure we making a lot of people, they find us online, especially because the video reviews, the Google reviews. Some we texting them also, because we have a lot of customers, and we text them every Sunday to them. Sometimes we do on Mondays, and I mean, we see the numbers grow on those days when we text them. Oh my. You see the numbers. I love the numbers. I'm a numbers guy too.
So step number one, marketing, that's happening. We're getting in front of ideal and likely buyers. If I'm getting it right, you're having more than double the number of first-time customers. 2, you got to wow the customers in your restaurant. And again, you have you have multiple locations. Can you tell us what city and state your locations are in there, sir?
Yes, sir. We have 2 locations in Macomb and Brookhaven, Mississippi. And we have another location on Louisiana. So, and we are about to open another one coming, I guess July, or it's gonna be another location in July in Summit, Mississippi. So,
amen to that.
It's gonna be 5 locations.
So step number one, again, folks, you got to market to those customers. And that's one of the things we've worked on together, is to help you reach more of your ideal and likely buyers through search engine optimization, through online brand reputation enhancement, through social media advertisement, et cetera. The second is we got to implement a checklist to wow the new customer. And you said that one of the things you're doing in your store, and again, folks, if you have a restaurant out there today, you want to optimize the site, the sound, the smell, the experience for the first-time customer, the site, the sound, the smell, the experience. And you're saying first-time customers get what now when they come into tortillasoup.com?
Free cheese dip or free margarita. If they drink, we give them a free margarita. If they don't, we give them a free cheese dip. I mean, sometimes they want something else. We provide it. Don't care. First customers, you have to treat them like kings or queens, because they're king and queens. I mean, that's what it's all about, to treat them, that make them feel very important, no matter what.
So again, folks, I'm just making sure we're getting this idea. The marketing, you have to develop a 3-legged marketing stool. And we've done that with Saul and his team there through search engine optimization, through online advertising, through social media marketing. The second is the wowing, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the experience. You got to nail it down. Step 3, got to build a database. You have to build a database and then stay in their face. What am I saying? You have to build a database and stay in their face. And so we collect the name, the phone, the email of first-time customers. and then you're able to text them and email them and to stay in touch with them. Talk about that process and how that's impacted your restaurant.
Oh yeah, my son over here, he's the one in charge of the. He said texting. Isol and Josmar, my son, they're helping me every Sunday before 11 o'clock. We send a text message to them, massive text for everyone, and you see the sales increase. Sometimes it doesn't work. When one Sunday it didn't work, and we sales our sales very low on that Sunday. So I love it. I love it. I love it when the people, they may feel important. They feel important. Usually, well, because we send them only once a week, sometimes twice, but mostly once a week, and the sales increase. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. It works.
Now, step number 4, you got to hire people that are on fire. You've got to hire people that are on fire. There are certain people that want to work and certain people that don't. And unfortunately, we have some people that do want to work and some people that don't want to work. And so the solution is we implement a system, a hiring process. We call it the group interview, but it's a hiring process. Can you talk about how implementing our turnkey hiring process has impacted your business?
Yeah, before you and even my managers, they were not believing in hiring and group. But then I saw you, how you did it. I read it about your book. You tell us, Jordan told me also. And we do a group meeting every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Every Wednesday is a group meeting. Sometimes we post on social networks and Indigo also. And we do a group meeting. I mean, they have to ask me questions about what they wanted or what their goals, what the money goals, and then whatever. And then from there, you see if they come on time, in time, every time I told them, that's what I tell them. I start on time, no matter what. If they don't come on time, they're not going to be working at tortilla soup. I like to hire 8 players. And since we're doing this every week, group interview meeting, we have a lot of 8 players coming. And the C and B players, they leaving. I don't care about the C players. Maybe the B players, but I want 8 players all the time.
Now, the next step here, step number 5, is you have to implement a daily meeting. You might call it a daily huddle, a daily meeting, or you're going to experience a financial beating. What I have found is if you do not schedule a daily meeting, you will experience a financial beating because people will start to drift. Things will start to slip, especially with the restaurants we work with. I mean, you just cannot communicate with your team via email only. You can't just have like a quarterly meeting. You can't have an annual review. You've got to have that daily huddle. Talk to the listeners out there about how implementing that daily huddle strategy has proven to be effective for you.
Well, we do at least 1 to 5 minutes daily huddle meeting, pre-shift meeting. I call pre-shift meeting. I mean, they have to know what are the specials, how they should be treating the customers, and how the food should be handled to the customers. I mean, we have to treat them well. We have to remind them of daily special. We have to remind them the customer tell us when they're happy or what we need to improve. That way we can improve. We're willing to take comments on people in order to get progress. I mean, and we do a daily meeting, especially with the 8 players. They encourage the other players. I like happy people. I like happy, and that's how we do. Every shift.
This tracking thing is super big. The tracking, I always tell people, again, we're going back to step 6 here. Implement tracking, or you're going to start to find that you're financially slacking. What am I saying? Implement tracking, or you're going to start to find you're financially slacking. You do a great job of that. The tracking sheet really is what matters. It's like keeping score in business. Talk to the listeners out there about how implementing the tracking system has impacted your company.
Well, the tracking system, the tracking sheet, you know, first thing, where the customers coming from. If they coming by word of mouth, if they coming by Google Ads, by ad rolls or whatever. And the other thing, you tracking your numbers also. So whatever you say, I can prove it is real. It's not just talking or saying something else, something is not real. We see the numbers every week, and we have yearly goal. And we see if we get in or not getting to that goal. I mean, keeping all the numbers in one sheet is more amazing. I didn't know. We did it once in a while. Now we have consistency, self-discipline, and then bad managers leave also because they don't want to be tracked. I mean, now there's no excuses. We have to see the numbers on a real time, every day, every week, every year, every quarter.
Now, final question for you here before we wrap up, and I appreciate you carving out time for us, is there's a lot of people that they have a business right now, and it is stuck. And one of my highlights of having our business conference every couple of months is I love seeing you guys. I love seeing your son, love seeing your family. I love being in the room with other successful entrepreneurs. I like seeing all my clients come to these events and hearing about their success stories and having them share how they're implementing it. And so to me, the workshops, the highlights to me of our workshops is to meet great people like you who are actually growing as a result of implementing these systems. However, a lot of people are maybe a little bit concerned or resistant to scheduling a free 13-point assessment. Maybe they think there's going to be some weird bait and switch or upsell. Maybe they've got screwed over or scammed over somewhere else. What would you say to somebody out there that's thinking about scheduling a free 13-point assessment today, or somebody who's thinking about coming to one of our in-person 2-day interactive business workshops?
Oh, they have to do it. They have to do it. And we've been, like me and my family, I brought all my managers at one time. And I'm going to bring another managers on June 27, 28. I'm going to bring another managers over there. You should come. I mean, you should. I've been there several times. Me, my sons, my wife. We've been there. You have to be there in order to believe it. You have one. I mean, you out of several books, but the Millionaire, whatever, the big, huge book, you have to read it. It's the one. I read it from one page to the end several times already. It's worth thousands, if not millions. The price is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You have to be at the show.
Do you actually, I try to write books that entrepreneurs would want to read. I try to make it, I know it sounds crazy, but I try to write books that have words, but a lot of graphics. Do you like those graphics that are in the books and the different supporting images? Is that helpful for you?
Yeah, I love it. That's why I love it. It's not a regular book. Just words and things. I like the graphics. I like the jokes. You have some jokes over there. I like the quotes. I mean, even a third grade child can learn from that book. I mean, it's easy. I mean, and you have several examples over there. I mean, a lot of. It's no doubt. I mean, you should read it. You should read it. I read my whole life like 1,000 books or maybe more. And it's one of the most important books, and I keep recommending that book, and I keep recommending you show to the people. You have to go in order to believe it. Everything, the organization is different. The walls with a lot of quotes. Jesus, which is very important. I saw him behind you. I love it. I love it. That's another part I love it too. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you're a highlight for us. We love working with your family. Thank you for carving out time. And for anybody who's in the area, check out the businesses. Go there today, folks. Tortilla Soup. It's expanding. The locations we have here, we got Brookhaven and Macomb. That's in Mississippi. And do you have any other, where are the other locations there, Saul, for people out there that maybe want to come visit? You might become a tourist destination.
Yes, sir. And Louisiana and New Orleans, that I have it with different name. Yeah, but I'm going to switch probably to Tortilla Soup, all of them, because I'm going to implement the system and all of that. No excuses. You have to do it, my friend, in order to believe it. You have to do it. I believe it. Thank you very much. I love it. I love it.
Thank you, brother. Have a great day. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
You too. See you in June.
All right. See ya. Bye-bye. JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Whoa. During the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, 2024. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show Business Growth Workshop. Yes, folks, put it in your calendar. This December, the month of Christmas, December 5th and 6th, Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma in the Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business growth workshop. Whoa. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Folks, I'm telling you, if you want to learn branding, you want to learn marketing, you want to learn search engine optimization, you want to learn social media marketing, that's what we teach at the Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive workshop. If you want to learn accounting, you want to learn sales systems, you want to learn how to build a linear workflow, you want to learn how to franchise your business, that is what we teach at the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop. Over the years, we've had the opportunity to feature Michael Levine, the PR consultant of choice for Nike, for Prince, for Michael Jackson. We've had the top PR consultant in the history of the planet has spoken at the Thrive Time Show workshops. We've had Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, a company that creates apparel worn by celebrities all throughout the world. Jill Donovan, the founder of RusticCuff.com, has spoken at the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshops. We've had the man who's responsible for turning around Harley Davidson, a man by the name of Ken Schmidt. He has spoken at the Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops. Folks, I'm telling you, these events are going to teach you what you need to know to start and grow a successful business. And the way we price the events, the way we do these events, is you can pay $250 for a ticket or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, we've designed these events to be affordable for you, and we want to see you live and in person at the 2-day interactive December 5th and 6th Thrive Time Show Business Workshop. Everything that you need to succeed will be taught at the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show Business Workshop, December 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the way we do these events is we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a question and answer session so that wonderful people like you can have your questions answered. Yes, we teach for 30 minutes, and then we open it up for a 15-minute question and answer session. It's interactive. It's 2 days. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We've been doing these events since 2005, and I'm telling you, folks, it's going to blow your mind. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop is America's highest rated and most reviewed business workshop. See the thousands of video testimonials from real people just like you who've been able to build multi-million-dollar companies. Watch those testimonials today at thrivetimeshow.com. Simply by clicking on the testimonials button right there at thrivetimeshow.com, you're going to see thousands of people just like you who've been able to go from just surviving to thriving. Whoa. Each and every day, we're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup, but I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And someone says, Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrive Time Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, You can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specifics steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done his show before also. but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
Well, I have to, first of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, "Have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad?" And I said, "No." And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed to the business owner to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there, too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, "I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this."
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.